So today we're going to be going over Olympic weightlifting and performance on the football field. So we're going to provide 3 different Olympic weightlifting movements that we use with our football players to develop a lot of speed, mobility, and just straight up power so that they can hammer people when they're going to make contact, when they're hitting, when they're tackling, when they're coming off the line, every aspect of the sport of football.
I'm on my.
Okay, so we're going to start with pause at the knee power snatch. If you don't know how to establish your snatch grip or understand what a snatch even is, click on the link down below and you can get the full intro to snatching where I go over every aspect of the basics with the snatch with Madison Rice. But today we're going to go back into how Olympic weightlifting can transfer over to the football field. So we're going to start with pause at the knee power snatch. DJ's got his grip already established. He's got his foot width established as well. He's going to demonstrate here for us what it is 2 times. Go ahead, DJ. Good. Give me one more. Good. So some of the key aspects that we want to see is that we want to see those knees come back at the pause. So right here, we're going to pause with the knees back, the bars right below the kneecap, and that chest is going to be over the bar, similar to a position where that the linebackers are going to be in when they're out on the field, even similar to the position that a QB is going to be at. And then if you can demonstrate for me again, DJ. When the bar, it's going to pause. Okay, 1, 2, now fast reaction. Good. What this is going to help there is that when you have that pause, what coaches can do is they can control the time of the pause. So what that is similar to is a linebacker or any defensive player who's got to make a quick read. They're pausing here, they're pausing, and then they have to make a quick read. So they're watching the running back or anything like that, and they're making their reads off of the running back. They're making the reads off what the QB's doing. They might be, if you're a safety, making the reads off a lineman or what a wide receiver is doing. So what this does is it helps you learn to control your tension and be aware of what's going on and then explode very quickly so you have better reaction times on the football field. So the next exercise that we're going to go over is a low hang clean. So DJ's going to demonstrate this low hang clean. Then we're going to go over those key points and how it can transfer to the football field. Good, good. Okay, so just to start off right off the bat is when we're doing a low hang clean, that doesn't mean that you can pick up the bar like this. We want to see that the pickup position is similar to the pull that we're going to be in. And then as you lower, we want to load those hamstrings because if we're on the football field, we know that our hamstrings are loaded with fast twitch muscle fibers. And when we load them and we're moving around on the field, they're going to be ready. Our hamstrings are going to be ready. Our brain's going to be ready to fire and recruit so that we can make adjustments with our body based off of what we're reading and what the feedback is of what the offense is doing, or if we're on offense, our hamstrings are loaded as linemen or as the running back, and we can make quicker steps, first steps right off the line. So some of the key aspects here, DJ, if you can pick this up, again, going back over, pick it up like you're going to clean it. Then when you lower it, the knees come forward a little bit, and then, yep, and now he's back over the bar, good. Now give me that pull. So it's a quick, explosive movement. You can have a slight pause on the hang to load your hamstrings, load your lower back, and then on top of that, when you're getting down into the hole, you're getting more mobility deep in the hole. You're learning how to recruit motor units when you're in that deep position. So in the sport of football, the lower man almost always wins. If you get more mobile, you can get your hips a little bit lower, and if you can get your hips a little bit lower, you're gonna win the battle. On top of that, when you're in that hang position, if you're playing linebacker, you can learn how to use your hips more to drive through when you're finishing that tackle. It's the same exact position that we're gonna be in if we're running backs. If you're a running back and you're going to hit the line quickly, your hips are gonna be low. You're gonna learn how to use those hips, use those hamstrings, and coordinate with your quads so that you can get through the hole a little bit quicker. So low hang clean is a great movement for the football players. Now we're gonna go into on-the-minute cleans. So the biggest thing with on-the-minute cleans that we like to do is it's a clean. You start the timer, you get a 1 minute clock, and then when that 1 minute clock is up, you do the clean again. Now, how do we use this? The best way that we use it is that we'll spend the summertime preparing with a whole bunch of maximal effort lifting, you know, all the way from June, July, heading into camp. But those last 4 weeks, we want to learn how that we can have good, powerful performance over a span of 10 to 15 minutes. So we might sit here and actually use on-the-minute drills with cleans, with big weights, as though it's almost a full quarter heading into that season. So the conditioning is high, and our football players can produce a large amount of force way into the game, into the third, fourth quarter, so that they are as strong as they were in the first quarter. So DJ's gonna do 2 cleans. We're gonna start the timer. We're gonna rest a minute. He's gonna do 2 cleans again. Good. For 1 minute. Okay, go ahead. Good. So the other aspect that I didn't even mention is that cleans are technical movement in football. Every position in football is technically oriented. So if we can have technically sound movement late in the on-the-minute drills from the 10th, 11th, 12th minute, then we know in that third or fourth quarter that football players wired to hold good technique through the rest of that game so that they're in better positions to produce force. And if you notice here with DJ, he's pulling off the floor. Oftentimes a big mistake that I see is that a lot of football strength coaches are only going from the high hang, or they're only going from the low hang, and they're never going from the floor. And they'll say, oh, there's no transfer from the floor. But there's two points to this. One, it's good to go from the floor, it's good to go from a hang, it's good to go from a high hang, it's good to go from a pause. All different aspects are good because they're always gonna be in different positions on the football field. Football, you're always hitting many different angles. But on top of that, going from the floor is gonna be very similar to a lineman in a 3-point stance. They need to have the mobility in their lower back, they need to have the mobility in their ankles, they need to have that mobility in their knees to be able to get out of that position and produce a lot of force. And that's the biggest factor with pulling that clean from the floor, is that it plays a huge role with linemen coming off the ball even quicker. And if we can win with that first step, we're likely gonna win that battle in the trenches. So on-the-minute drills are awesome for power conditioning, and on top of that, it's awesome for having a technical mindset, and it's great for developing good speed off the ball. Okay, so those 3 movements are awesome for developing a huge amount of force production on the football field. Go from the pause at the knee, go from a low hang, go from the floor, hit all these different angles, use the on-the-minute drills, and you're gonna be crushing stuff on the gridiron this fall.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me into. Please don't let me into my zone. I just need some time of my own. All these people trying to get a conversation. You can conversate to that tone. My God up on that throne, yeah. So I'm never alone, yeah. All these people trying to box me in. I'm Mayweather, it's on, yeah. Now they ask where I'm at. Making hits that lambe. I'm MJ, I'm 2-3, man. I just need some time back. I'm zoned in like defense, my life gone, no recess. But I live my best one, so I got no regrets. So I'm gone, finally back in my home. I'm working like so much, they swear I had me a clone. Can't answer my phone now, just leave it there at that tone. Ballin', can't beat me up, cause I'm back in my zone now.